Hello everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. This is going to be North Week 3 recaps. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go through every game and pretty much give my opinion. Let me make sure this is on because these videos tend to be a little long. So, oh man, I did not do my homework. I meant to, okay, you know what I'm just going to do is I'm going to cheat it. So what I normally do is I write down each match and the record going into it, and then take a picture off my phone, and then I just read it off my phone. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Meant to do it prior, but I kind of don't want to re-record this, so should be okay. I think that's better for my mic. Okay, so yeah, first battle is Richard versus Steven. Steven is PFL Swift, and then Richard is Flames 98765. Now, looking here, Steven is 0-2 and Richard's 1-1. Both are battlers that I respect greatly, so this game should be pretty exciting. Let's just get right into it then. Gonna make it fast. So Diancie leads, but Starmie uses flip turn, which is a new move. Steven gets rocks up, really good. U-turn. Okay, leftovers is revealed. We still don't know what kind of Landorus it is. Okay, this is actually going pretty fast. I think this is important too, because Torkoal's out against Serena, and Torkoal goes for Stealth Rocks, which is smart. So okay, hold on. They trade Stealth Rocks. Now, it makes sense because it looks like Storm is probably Richard's main defogger, and Rocks do look pretty good against Steven. He does have plenty of things to get rid of it too, though. Okay. Oh, whoa, Draco. Oh, so he switched out Torkoal into Mimikyu. That's pretty smart. Yeah, but then Mimikyu can't really hurt Corviknight. Oh, but Richard calls that and goes for the double switch. Really well played. Sun is up, so Heliolisk takes extra damage, but this is a really big turn. He can capitalize greatly just from the huge power that's about to happen. Weather Ball. Okay, scratch that. That's not big damage. Would have been nice to see a Volt switch there, because Steven's team can't really do anything about it. But maybe you were trying to catch the Serena on the switch-in, which is fair. Okay, Landorus comes in. Big Moonblast. It did a lot of damage. I actually like Steven's Corviknight set. It's just coming in and stopping like big damage from happening, and then switching out for momentum, and that U-turn is huge. So this Serena is definitely defensive. Definitely defensive. He chooses to get rid of Rapid Spin over getting rid of Starmie. I think that's a fine play, especially if you're faster now. Synthesis, also a good call. He has to be careful about Mimikyu a bit, but U-turn into Mimikyu is perfect because you get rid of the disguise as well. And he goes back into his defensive Corviknight. So if Richard wants to win this, he has to figure out a way to get damage onto Corviknight. I don't know if Shadow Claw is enough, but that just shows how desperate Richard is to wear down this Corviknight. Because any sort of offensive presence Richard has, Corviknight just comes in, stops, and then switches out again. As we see a Heat Wave that misses, but it was into Arcanine, so it's fine. Richard goes for a very risky play. Hold on, let's rewatch that, because I want to understand what was going through his mind. Okay, so Heat Wave misses. I guess he had no switch-ins, and he wanted to save the sun. That makes sense, I guess. It's just Starmie is a pretty good wall breaker. I know it's walled by Serena, but even if you could just get rid of rocks, that would help out the rest of your team. But let's see. So Richard decides to sack Starmie. Goes down. Landorus comes in, very scary. Probably Corviknight again, yep. Pretty much, I think I've already said this, but any sort of big damage Richard can dish out, Corviknight just comes in and tries to mitigate it and then U-turns out. So let's see if Richard called it. Oh my god. He goes for a stone edge. I mean, explosion. I wanted it to be a stone edge, but that's. I mean, he's worn down Corviknight somewhat now, but like, um, at the cost of a lot of his Pokemon. Like he sacrificed Mimikyu, and he sacrificed Landorus to get Corviknight at 37%. And Corviknight can heal pretty reliably. I mean, it might have trouble healing, I guess, against Heliolisk and Torkoal. But now Richard is so down. Richard's going for a Dark Pulse now. I guess he was reading a potential switch, or maybe he just doesn't have coverage for Serena. I don't know what you would exactly have. Oh, wow. So, yeah, Arcanine just demolishes that Moltres, and then because Sun's up, it could just go for Flare Blitz again, take that out. Let's see if it has Extreme Speed. It doesn't. Okay, so Richard's probably going to lose here, but he can potentially conserve Differential. That's what we need to see here. Oh, I mean, Serena's just too bulky. So on second thought, like, it's totally over. I do think this Serena was really well built, actually. Came in very clutch. It provided support for Corviknight, which I also think was well built because those two together just were unbreakable, and it resulted in Steven getting a 6-0. So that was a good game. So now they're both 1-2 on the season. That was cool to see. Okay, so up next we got Aaron, who is 2-0, versus Edwin, who is 2-0 as well. So Edwin is Levenu. I hope I said that right. And then Aaron is Mr. Tangela. So Edwin, I think this is one of his better years so far because last year I know he struggled in this league. I know he's done well prior, but it's been a while, I feel like. But he's got Slowbro and Tornadus Therian, so those are really good Pokemon to have, especially together on a team. Plus, he has other threats to go along with it. And then Aaron just drafted like a really scary team. I mean, Tapu Koko, Kobali, and Entei. Snorlax is scary. The list goes on. But for this specific matchup, I mean, Tapu Koko is really good against Tornadus and Slowbro. So I feel like Nidoking is going to have to pull its weight if he's going to want to win. So Tapu Koko lead. Oh wow, Nature's Madness misses. Then a U-turn happens into Cradily. Cradily is an interesting. He's probably going to set up rocks. But Aaron can get rocks. Oh, okay, Leaf Seed. That makes sense as well. Although now he gets rocks up, I think. Yeah, instead of trading rocks, he just did 24% to Cobalion. So I don't know if that was the better play. We'll see what happens here. Ooh, leftovers on Entei. That's cool to see. Okay, so let me provide some insight. When it comes to regenerator Pokemon, every time they switch out, they gain a third of their health, which is really, really good. But I think so many regenerator Pokemon hate being status conditioned. So like, if you just toxic a Tangrowth, toxic a Slowbro, it's so annoying for them. Like, yeah, they can switch out and get around it to some extent, but like, I mean, we'll see this game, but just the extra toxic pressure on the Pokemon just makes things so much harder for them. It encourages them to like have to switch out. Okay. So we see a toxic onto Snorlax. Whoa. that was pretty high IQ. So Snorlax has the ability to, of course, not take toxic with immunity, but it also makes sense for it to have thick fat or even gluttony if it wants to restore its berry. Here, it probably is thick fat, though. That's what I would expect. Also, he took the toxic, but he used the move facade, so that power actually doubled, which was really smart. That makes Slowbro even more in need of switching out. So then Kartana is probably Edwin's best switch-in. I wonder if Aaron would call it like go for a heat crash or something, because he can't just keep in Snorlax. Alternatively, I realized Incineroar is not a bad switch-in too. Oh, he goes for a teleport. Okay, that's really smart. So he got it in for free. He didn't have to worry about the switching in against Snorlax. Kartana goes for a knockoff, knocking off Salamance's heavy-duty boots, which is, I think that long term can be really good. Cradily comes in on a Draco Meteor and eats it up really well too. Another Toxic, but it misses. Cradily gets Leech Seed. That's pretty good. Ooh, okay, they both switched. This is the matchup. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Cobalion could have one-shot Nidoking, but we know from earlier that like Tapu Koko is really good once Nidoking is down. So that could be the logic. Aaron just wanted some chip on it. Like now, Vanillex probably pressures Nidoking pretty hard. Rocks up, Intimidate, Blizzard, only 12%. That is crazy. That's like Assault Vest damage or something. Incineroar gets a knockoff. If that is Assault Vest damage, then I think the Nature's Madness turn 1 really hurt Incineroar. I mean, hurt Aaron. Just because if Incineroar's at 50%, plus it just took 24% from rocks, it becomes a lot less bulky. But now it looks like it's just doing massive amounts of work. Like it just traded itself for an Entei. And Entei is pretty good against these Pokemon. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Vanillex versus Kartana. I wonder if Vanillex was the call. I think what happened here, I could be wrong, but I think Vanillex was Scarf, and I think Kartana is Scarf too. I'll find out based off what Aaron switches in here, most likely. Tapu Koko, yeah. So actually, I don't know for sure, but would not surprise me. Cradily is just specially defensive, taking a lot of the big damage this turn. It looks like Aaron's running out of utility. It would be good if he could Toxic Cradily, but that doesn't look like it's happening. In fact, Coco gets Toxic instead. If Coco had Taunt, that would have been huge. Oh, Aaron does realize that Toxic's good against Cradily, so he goes for it. So that was a good call. But now everything is pretty much Toxic. So Aaron's on like a big timer here. I wonder, I forget if Cradily gets Aromatherapy or even Cortana, but looks like hazards are pretty good against Edwin. We'll find out if he watches my videos, because if I play him, I'm probably gonna try to Toxic everything. I mean, everything that I can Toxic. Oh, but yeah, going back to this game, Cradily died just because the Toxic just kept on stacking. Yeah. So I do think the Kartana is Scarf here, especially based off what the 3 moves have been revealed there. So that was huge for knocking out Vanillex for sure. So now Slowbro comes in. Toxic's just hitting both of them though. Oh, that was really good. Getting a Draco off. Ooh, Slack off is just as good too. Aaron has to switch out, yeah, because Toxic's going up every turn and it's faster than Slowbro's. And Slowbro could go for another recover or a teleport, probably a Slack off. Oh, he teleports, okay. Um, whoa. Tornadus goes for Sledge Wave and knocks out Coco. Was this just Scarf too? Maybe I'm misreading. Like maybe Kartana wasn't Scarf and Vanillix wasn't Scarf, but I don't know. I kind of think these were just double Scarf. That Sledge Wave was huge. Also, it says I joined this game. I totally did, but I haven't really been paying attention. Like I'll join games and then I'll be like, oh, these two are battling, then I'll leave, and yeah. So just know when you're watching this, this is like my as authentic as possible. There may be like one or two games, especially the one I played, where like yeah, I watched it and went through it and whatnot. And the other one is probably like if I helped a friend out or something, you know. But I have been making every attempt to like not watch these games. Um, okay, Slowbro went down. That's cool. But now everything's just on a timer, and Noodle King outsped Salamence. Okay, so either I'm missing something or these Pokemon were very interestingly EV'd. I want to see what they say. Yeah, nothing relevant. I mean, I guess it makes sense if Nidoking is max speed and Salamence is very defensive or something. That's still tough though. That was a pretty interesting game. I just was surprised. Like there would be turns where it's like, oh, Kartana versus Scarf Vanillix. Vanillix has got this. And then it just goes down. Or like Tornadus T versus Tapu Koko. It's like, oh, Tapu Koko's got this, and then it just goes down to Sludge Wave. And then just now, Nidoking versus Salamence. Oh, okay. Salamence should be able to beat Nidoking, and then it just outspeeds. And yeah, so I guess really good prep on Edwin's part, because those knockouts were really key for this match, and allowed Edwin to move on to 3-0. So that was a good game. Let's go on to the next one. And this one's probably the best match of the week. I'm not saying that just because it includes my battle, but any match with a Celesteela is just in general really good. So, anyways, this is my match. It actually isn't the best week. I was just kidding, in case anyone could not tell, but hopefully you could, right? And yeah, I'm 2-0, and I went up against Brandon, who is 0-2. Despite him being 0-2, like his team's really scary. And when you're doing these matches, like no matter who it is, like from my perspective, I felt like I had to win this match. If I didn't, then like the division would just be a lot closer throughout the season, you know. And I was really scared of Melmetal in prep. I think that was a big thing. And then I saw team preview and I was just like, oh, I don't see a Melmetal. That's good. But at the same time, I had invested so much resources into trying to stop Melmetal that I don't know how I felt about it. I feel like it still did its job even though it wasn't here. Like my whole team was pretty defensive. I actually have a video for this. I uploaded it very recently. So you can feel free to check that out if you want to see it live. But yeah, let's just see how this goes. I lead Scarf Sock against Ninetales. I figure I can get big damage off. I think Moonblast might have killed me too, and I was just like, he's gonna Aurora Veil either way. So yeah, the way that I think Pokemon like Ninetales and Galvantula are supposed to work is you want to activate the Aurora Veil or the sticky webs as much as possible without letting them be knocked out. If you let them, like so many people, I'll fight against a Galvantula, they'll activate sticky webs and I'll just knock them out. So they got sticky webs up, which is really good, but now it's a 5v6. And if I prepped appropriately, like I can defog at one point or another in this game, especially like this team with Rotom Wash, but even just in general. So I find the really, really good Ninetales and Galvantula players, in my opinion, they just go for like they're really good at maintaining them. Um, and I do think Brandon actually does a good job of that here because he gets in Aurora and he just immediately switches out. So that was really good. It guarantees another, I'm assuming 6 or 7 turns of Aurora Veil. So then I go for a Toxic on Tangrowth. I remember thinking like I don't want to get knocked off because if you get rid of Celesteela's item, it really hurts it, and I probably shouldn't be revealing that to my opponents, but I'm pretty sure you all know anyways. Like if it's a leftover Celesteela set and you get rid of leftovers, it's kind of a dead Celesteela. I have to use Leech Seed, but that's not great. So I thought he was going to knock off here, and I was really bummed about it. But at the same time, I think I mentioned a game or two ago, toxicking the regenerator Pokemon or hazarding them, I mean status conditioning is huge. So that's what I wanted to do. I realized he probably doesn't have a Heal Bell or Aromatherapy on his team, so a Toxic here would go a long way as this game progresses, especially because my team is very bulky, so yeah, it's also best way to get damage while Aurora Veil's up. So he actually puts me asleep. He didn't knock me off, which was I wasn't too disappointed about. I also felt like um, I felt like now he would knock off, so I switched in Noivern as he switched in Urshifu. So then I remember this turn I calced and I'm like, oh, I can't knock it out. I have to switch out. And I think in hindsight this was a big mistake because in prep I was like, Infiltrator so good because it gets around Aurora Veil. It just allows Noivern to hit at full strength. So I'm pretty sure I could have knocked out Urshifu here through Aurora Veil just because I have Infiltrator, which ignores screens and Substitute. But I guess he does a good job anyways because he scouted Ninetales. Also, for whatever reason, I took a Freeze Dry for 51%, and this Rotom was very physically defensive. But I think I was really happy at this point because Ninetales was up without Snow, so he couldn't get the free Aurora Veil ups. And Ninetales is not very strong, so I wanted to use this as an opportunity to just get in big damage, and that's what Blacephalon's job is. Like, Blacephalon was slower than Ninetales, I'm pretty sure, but at the same time, it didn't really matter. So I substitute. I felt he was probably gonna switch out, I guess. It's just a safe play. And then I go for the Shadow Ball. And this was actually huge. Had I not substituted, I wouldn't have found out that Flygon was Scarf. And once I saw it was Scarf, I was just like, okay, you're not going to be able to Earthquake against me again because half my team is in the air. So I can just take advantage of that and just go into something fast. I mean, something flying. And I wanted to get Celesteela awake because it was really good this matchup. I just really what did I really I wanted something else to potentially fall asleep if possible. Something that I cared less about, like maybe the Rotom Wash or something. Because that was specifically for Melmetal. So yeah, he goes into Galvantula. And I just did not want to take a Thunder. I think Celesteela was also specially defensive too. And something else happened with the Noivern. As I switched it in, I realized my whole team was physical, so I was like, I have nothing against Galvantula. This is really bad. But then I switched in Noivern, I took a Thunder, and I was like, oh, if I Roost, I just become pure Dragon type, and then Thunder does nothing to me. So I can actually do that and just gain momentum back. That's also one reason why Noivern's so good, because you can use Roost and just get rid of its flying typing. Because it's so fast, it's not really a problem. So I go for the Roost. He goes for a Volt Switch. That was a crit, and it only did 26%. Then he goes into Ninetales. I was scared of Ninetales having Ice Shard, which it does get. But I did probably assume he had or he was just going to go for an Aurora Veil, which he does. So what I was saying earlier is as soon as Ninetales Aurora Veils, it wants to get out of there, especially against a Celesteela. So let's see what he does. And at the same time, I'm just trying to get rid of the sleep turns. So I do wake up, which is huge. I figured he would have to switch out, so I didn't even go for a heavy slam there. And then he does something interesting. He goes for a sub on my Toxic. I think that's an okay play. The only thing is sub means you're kind of committing to staying in, and I have Leech Seed up, so he's just going to take damage. And Urshifu can't recover, although it's leftovers, but still, with Hail up and Leech Seed, it can't. So then I'm just going to sack Rotom since it's physically defensive and it's not great this matchup. So I switch it in, and it actually lived, which was really cool. I was definitely happy about that. So Scarf Flygon comes in as I miss a Hydro Pump. And here I'm like, oh, I'm max defense and Rocky Helmet. I think if a Flygon U-turns, then I might live it. I did not calc it, and then surprise U-turn just knocked me out there. But at the same time, I was okay with it because it allowed me to gain momentum, which is really good because I feel like if I lead Noivern, everything on his team is kind of scared of it except Ninetales, but at the same time, I have a bunch of answers to Ninetales. So then I get a Heat Wave burn, which is really huge. He goes for a Volt Switch back into Scarf Flygon. Celesteela is good against it. He has to, yeah, U-turn was his best play there. But then he goes into Tangrowth, and it's like, okay, I want to stall out the Toxic. Gets a Sleep Powder off. I figure he's probably going to Sleep Powder again, and I can use this as an opportunity. Oh wait, no, I just go for damage. Okay, I don't know if I should have done that. Maybe I guess I valued everything else, so I thought it was fine. Yeah, now he finally knocks off. I think if he knocked off sooner, it would have hurt me worse, as Toxic does a huge amount there. I'm asleep for a second turn. Okay, so I go into Mew here. I could have stayed in and just tried waking up with Celesteela, because if it wakes up, it does break the substitute. But I guess I wanted to preserve its health now that it lost its leftovers. Oh, I also thought a close combat could potentially come in, which makes sense. That was a good, like, it could have happened. I go for a Draining Kiss, just trying to gain health back, and then this turn's important. I was scared of a Sucker Punch, so I was like, do I want to switch out? Do I not? But at the same time, like, I think Noivern was in Sucker Punch range too, so it was actually a big problem. But at the same time, I just decided to go for it. I go for a Draining Kiss. He goes into Golbat. At the time, I was like, if he's going into Golbat, that means one thing. He wants me to Psychic it. And despite that, I was like, okay, I'm just going to Psychic it anyways. But that could have really cost me. I should have been more careful about it. Because, like, why would you go into a Golbat against a Mew? Like, you're baiting something. So if it was a trap, I would have fallen for it. But oddly enough, he just Toxics. I think he says at the end of this game that he only had like 2 moves on Goldbat. So that definitely cost him. And then this, I don't think was the best play. He chooses to sack Galvantula for no reason. Like he just switches it in and sacks it, which I was pretty happy about because now Celesteela is pretty safe. And then here I finally punish him. I wake up and then get a heavy slam and knock out Ninetales. I don't know what he could have done at this point though. Like switching in wise, it's pretty tough. But yeah, then I get the defense boost. I'm just constantly protecting just to chip away with Toxic. So if Tangrowth wants to get damage on me, it's going to take extra from Toxic. And then I play around the Sleep Powder because I feel like Sleep Powder's his only win condition at this point. So I just go into Mew. And I was perfectly fine with having Mew die at this point. I figured it had done its job. Although it didn't do much this game, but it did its job. Yeah, so I also figured because Goldbat has Toxic, I think Celesteela is a pretty free switch-in against it. Can maybe taunt me, but can't do much else. So then I Heavy Slam, get the knockout there. Protect again just to make the Toxic worse. Goes for a Leech Seed, which was good. I also wanted to get rid of leftovers, because this way the Toxic will do even more damage, because it just kept on gaining a lot of it back with Regenerator too. So then I go for close combat. Scarf Flygon went down. He does get a Sleep Powder. So his win condition at this point, although it's kind of hard, is he needs to go into Urshifu and then like Sucker Punch me to death. And hope that works. I mean, I did reveal sub Blacephalon at the same time. So it was kind of hard. And I had that in mind, so I was like, I wasn't about to stay in with Noivern and kill the Sleep Turns. I was like, I'm just going to go into defensive Celesteela and just keep on pressuring him. So he goes for a substitute. He kind of had to at that point, hoping I couldn't break it. And he reveals his last move was Bulk Up, which wasn't enough to save him. And now the Toxic's just going to wear heavily on Tangrowth. Yeah, this is where he said Goldbat only had 2 moves. I think if Urshifu had Sucker Punch, that would have been helpful. I feel like it almost always needs Sucker Punch, just because it's so threatening. People might disagree with me on that, but like, I don't know. I did have to play around it to some extent, but like, if he had it, like at some point, I just have to attack him. He might have just knocked out me earlier if he did have it. Galvantula wasn't bad. I'm glad he didn't go for Sticky Webs because like he really shouldn't with my composition. Half of my team was in the air and whatnot. But yeah, so I moved on to 3-0 and he is 0-3 now. I feel like I took extra time on that game. If so, I am sorry. I'm also going to drink water really fast. Hold on. My parents are obsessed with Outlander. So we have these Outlander cups that I use for drinking water. But we accidentally ran them through the dishwasher, so their faces are kind of distorted. But yeah. So next game we got Chris L versus Zane. Chris is 0-2. He is Frank Bucket. Then Zane is 1-1, and he drafted Regigigas round 1. I was surprised by it, but honestly, he's been playing really well. And Regigigas is actually really scary too at the same time. Like, I don't know if I'd draft it round 1, but like, it's not something I want to prep against. So anyways, let's look at this battle. Knockoff, okay. Was it leftovers? Cool. Gets rocks up. So he switched out. Maybe he didn't have close combat, or maybe it doesn't kill, Or maybe he was Scarf. I think it was one of those three. But let's see. I feel like this could Toxic or... Oh, wait, no. You don't want to... Well, actually, yeah, you can Toxic a Passimian. Okay, let's slow it down and actually see what's going on. Did he hard switch Talonflame against a Pillow-Swine? Oh, no, it was a double switch. Okay. I do think Will-O-Wisp was a good bring here, actually. Ooh, I think Rock Slide was also a good bring. So this is probably going to roost here. It looks like one of those Talonflames. Oh, okay. That's not bad either. I think Stealth Rocks was the right play because you weren't going to knock out Talonflame. Like if it roosted, then it doesn't take 4 times for rock damage and whatnot, so it would have just gained back. And he might have actually wanted to do that just to preserve, like Talonflame would have been healthier later on. But Rock's like very annoying for Zane, so let's see what he does. He goes Regigigas, probably knocking off whatever comes in. Yep, gets rid of leftovers. Knockoff is such a good move. Ooh, 34%, wow, that's with slow start active. I find that so crazy. Okay, nice. Chris gets Passimian in. Goes for close combat. So I wonder, could Zane have stopped that? I mean, he has static Zapdos. Well, I'm assuming it's static, and then Aegislash. But maybe at this point he just wanted to like hope Chris over predicts or something. Oh, Talonflame reveals that it's heavy duty boots too. That's cool, and it does get the roost off, so that's good to see. He's playing well with it. Oh, bulk up too. Oh man, that crit is so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Because I think this thing was just gonna keep on setting up. I don't know what Chris was gonna do unless he toxiced it or he relied on Dragapult to outspeed, which would have worked for sure actually. But that was a scary Talonflame set, to say the least. Air Balloon Aegislash. Wow, just goes for an Iron Head, knocking out Pillow-Swine. That's crazy. Oops. Okay, so that's smart. Gigalith doesn't have an item, so he's just switching it in. Also, I keep seeing Passimian switch out, so it makes me feel like it's Choice Scarf. Okay, this is an interesting interaction. He hard baton passes into Dragapult. Ooh. I feel like this thing is Shadow Sneak. If your attack like sword stance and your opponent has a Dragapult, like I'd expect Shadow Sneak. I don't know what you do about it though. Like I don't know if you have a Pokemon that could have taken a Shadow Sneak here, but this looks like it's gonna hurt. Yeah, that went about as expected. Oh my god. It just slashes a monster. It could have even just like King Shield, although Defiant would have like nullified it, but still. Wait, what did he switch out on? Oh, he switched out against Salazzle. That's smart. That's a good play. I mean, I wonder how much Shadow Sneak would have done, but probably not have knocked out. Especially considering Zane switched out, and he probably knows more than I do there. He's using the Gigalith well, though. It's just coming in and tanking stuff. Ooh, and doing damage if it hit its move. Holy, yeah, that crit. Don't know how much it would have mattered, but yeah, Lantern can't even do much against it. So, Chris was just trying to get Gigalith low enough, because if he gets rid of Gigalith, then maybe he can... I mean, he could beat Aegislash, but he can't really beat Zapdos or Machamp. Not with a Salazzle. Unless they bring back Z moves, but our draft isn't. And then yeah, I can't even beat Gigalith there. So wow. So Zane just dominated. He recovered really well from losing that Talonflame. I think his prep with Aegislash was huge. I don't know what Chris really had against a physical Aegislash. Um, actually, we'll check. Not to put him on the spot or anything, but Mandibuzz would have been really good. Maybe Savali, I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't bring Excadrill, actually, versus a Sand team, right? Yeah, Excadrill looks really good here. That's interesting. I think one big thing about this game is finding out your correct six. I know it's hard sometimes when your opponent has a bunch of threats and you're trying to cover for all of them and whatnot, but you can have a really good team, but just bring the incorrect six and it just costs you the matchup. Or even just incorrect sets. Not saying the sets were incorrect or anything, but it it did feel like Aegislash in this specific matchup just had such an edge. Talonflame too, if it just kept on bulking up or something and was able to remain high health, Dragapult would have had to be special to potentially break it, and that was the only. I mean, yeah, that was the only way. Like if it Thunderbolted or something, because if it bulk up, like if Talonflame bulk ups and gets to like +6, none of these are gonna touch it. If Piloswine had Toxic though, that might have helped too. That might have helped against Talonflame. But it's just hard to cover for everything at the same time. Especially, I mean, Toxic's not good against Aegislash, so yeah, there was a lot to prep for. But that was a good game. So Chris ends up being 0-3, and then Zane is 2-1. They're both in my division too, so I think I played them a couple times. Well, I played Chris already. But yeah, next up we got Ryan, who is 0-2, who is Blade 462, and then Kevin Glass, who is 2-0. And he's off to a great start. I don't know what else to say. Spectrier has been a huge threat this whole season, but I do like that Ryan has Hippodon and Dracozolt. I think that's a really good combo. Like it's good to see Sand utilized really well. He just has to get rid of the Sun, and he has to get rid of Swampert. So let's see. Neutralizing Gas is actually really funny to see against Sableye. And I'm surprised Sableye stayed in. What if he just Strange Steamed? Like I think that would have been a 1-8 KO. Oh, there we go. I feel like he could have done that turn 1. Maybe he thought someone would switch out or something, but no, I don't know what he would switch out. Like I don't expect a hard Venusaur turn 1. So I do think Strange Steam would have been the play turn 1, but I think right now it didn't affect the game state at all. Okay, so Ninetales comes in. Nice. Yeah, this is a Weather War battle. So he's going to want to preserve Hippodon's health as much as possible. Rocks would help with that. But he goes for Earthquake, which, yeah, I don't think Ninetales is staying in the sand against Hippodon. So it would have been good if Hippodon had Stealth Rocks or Toxic just to fire it off there. Okay, but this is a good counter switching. Trevenant versus Swampert. And Swampert doesn't flip turn, but instead goes for a hard switch into Ninetales. Then this interaction happens again. But Kevin's starting to punish it, and Hippodon's starting to be worn down. So let's see. No. If Hippodon could punish the switch-in when Ninetales switches out, then I think Ryan would really have a good advantage here. But that's not what's happening. And instead, he's losing all momentum. As we just saw here. Now Spectrier, which is the scariest Pokemon on Kevin's team, is just in for free. Ryan does scout out with a Protect, so that was cool. But yeah, he has to switch in Absol, and it's kind of like, I don't know what Absol can do against Spectrier. But it does seem to be his main answer. Maybe Assault Vest Buzzwole can do something too. But I don't know. Night Slash. Okay. Whoa, it goes for Stone Edge. So I think you had to have switched, like, Ryan, from your perspective, had to have maybe switched out into something that could have taken a Clefable. And one thing to keep in mind is, let's say you're like, I didn't really have a Clefable switch in, then I think that's a prep issue. Like you should try to have maybe a special wall, because I also think, looking at this now, Venusaur is really good. Um, so maybe just try to plan out like what I can do against specific mons switching in wise, because I think your offense is definitely there. It's also not over, so Wheezing as the counter. Oh, it has Sludge Wave, so that was cool. And then you go, that was smart as well. You go for a Shadow Ball there. Is that really offensive? Like Assault Vest or something? Wait. What happened here? Okay, Buzzwole switches in, and Venusaur switches in. And he keeps Buzzwole in. So if he's doing that, he has to capitalize. Oh, he read a Spectrier switch in. I don't know about that. Would have been nice if you did something to knock it out, because now a Venusaur not in the sun just took out one of your best threats. And then it just Earth powers. You do get the sand up, which is good. Go into the Dracozolt. Okay, that was nice. And now he is pressured. He has to go into Swampert. So let's rewatch that. Giga Drain. Yeah, I feel like if you have Dragon Claw here, you just have to click it. There's no way he goes into Clefable, and if he does, you just get a Bolt Strike off the next turn. Another thing that Ryan could actually do too, which is good, is to bluff the Sand Rush. Because if it's Hustle, I think most opponents, if they see Sand and Dracozolt, they're just going to assume it's Sand Rush. So, like, if Dracozolt's in the sand against Spectrier, Kevin might switch out Spectrier, just assuming like he doesn't want to lose his Pokemon. But as soon as they do the damage calc, they'll know what it actually is. So you do have to be careful. But yeah, I mean, Dragon Claw wouldn't have killed, but it does help. Also, he did reveal Flip Turn there, so that's interesting. He didn't Flip Turn earlier. Oh, wait. Did Kevin not have Sand Rush? Shadow Ball, boom. Or is this just Scarf to the point where it just outspeeds +2 Dracozolt? That might have been the case. And it makes sense, because what on this team can stop Spectrier? Not much. Like, Absol can, but it can't recover. So it just got worn down. Yep, Shadow Ball. Spectrier just takes 3 free victims. Well, Kevin used it well. Really good there. And then I thought the Venusaur, even without the sun, just kind of demolished Ryan's team. Yeah, getting rocks up was huge too. I think the only mistake was with the Sableye. I kind of don't know what happened there. Maybe just getting used to the whole neutralizing gas mechanic of it. But Kevin definitely recovered for being down 5-6. He just kind of came back and just Ryan couldn't handle it. So Kevin is undefeated now, and Ryan is 0-3. Next up, we got Quentin versus Ling. This was a good match going in, because Ling was 2-0, and then Quentin was 1-1. So I think, I don't know if they've had a history. I think last season they were like both fighting for a playoff spot really hard too. And then Quentin ended up getting it. So I know them playing again now. It's like they both realize it's a pretty important match because they're both probably going to be fighting for a playoff spot, you know? So yeah, Ling brought Trick Room, like hard Trick Room, as we can see here. And then Quentin brought some fast Pokemon. Not too much recovery, but Latios can recover. So Ling just goes for Stealth Rocks and gets Toxic. Toxic on Mudsdale is so good. It was a good play, especially like Ling had Tapu Fini, but he still managed to get the Toxic off on Mudsdale, so that was huge. They trade Rocks. Fini just goes for big damage. Yeah. So remember what I was saying earlier about how it's really good if you have a Sticky Webs Pokemon or an Aurora Veil Pokemon to make sure they survive. You do not want to trade Sticky Webs for the actual Pokemon because now you're down 5-6. That is exactly what happened here. And I get that Quentin has Defiant so he could punish it, but at the same time, I don't know if a Defiant Zapdos can like just auto win him the game, you know? I don't know if it was worth going down 5-6 for, but let's see what happens. I do think Sticky Webs are good though, don't get me wrong, but I do think Link has he has Tapu Fini, which is a pretty good Defogmon. So Quentin's gonna have to play really well to stop it from defogging. And what was that? Muzdale just taking abuse. I guess Quentin thought maybe it would kill here, and to his surprise, it does not. And Nidoqueen goes down. Yeah, that was huge too. I don't think Mudsdale has rest because okay, it definitely doesn't have rest after it roared. But because Tapu Fini's on the team, it's kind of harder to assume that Mudsdale has rest. So I almost think Nidoqueen after Sledge Waving, because Mudsdale's toxic, he could have just switched out into Latias. He might have gotten toxic by doing that, but at the same time, it's fine. Also, one thing that's kind of annoying for Quentin is Rocks actually hurt him really bad too. So like he sacrificed Ribombee, but like at a pretty hefty cost because now a ton of his team's taken 25% just for switching in. And he has to rely on his opponent to defog. So yeah, Darmanitan's a Pokemon that very much values its health too. Like if he goes for a U-turn here, or just hard switch, like Darmanitan can only come in 4 more times now. And Link does take this opportunity to defog at the same time. That's another thing. It's hard to actually switch in Zapdos with Defiant on the actual defog. Because let's say Ling just went for a Moonblast. Zapdos goes down and Quentin's probably losing the game. So I think Quentin's reliance on Sticky Webs and Hazards is his downfall so far this game. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ling, what was that? You defogged again. Oh, light screen. Okay, okay. That makes more sense now. That does make more sense. But yeah, Moonblast. Let's see if Latias can recover on the switch-in. That'd be cool to see. Oh, light screens again. That's smart. Ooh, Kyurem is either Fast Scarf or Fast Scarf or Latias is very bulky. I don't think you should try to Stealth Rocks here. Okay, yeah. Stealth Rocks at this point, it's way too late. I do think Toxic is good, but yikes, a Trick Room. Trick Room's really good against these remaining Pokemon too. Like, switching Zapdos in. Light Screen is helping out a bit. But yeah, this Zapdos doesn't get recovery too, which is really unfortunate. So U-turn goes out. Finny comes in. Ling's doing really good at maintaining momentum this match, especially because Quentin's Pokemon rely heavily on momentum, like Darmanitan, like Zapdos. But yeah, Brave Bird. Ouch. Then here comes Slowking. Once Trick Room happened, we knew it was pretty much over. Yep. Psychic takes Darm out, and then Slowking, really good Life Orb set there. I guess that also shows why Sticky Webs might not have been the play. Because, I mean he brought 3 really slow Mons, or actually 4. So Sticky Webs was only stopping Kyurem and only stopping Tapu Fini. But I think this was actually a really informative match. I do think Quentin did well to start wearing down Mudsdale. I feel like Mudsdale was pretty important this match. I do think losing Nidoqueen was huge there. Once Nidoqueen went down, Ling's Mons just became so much more bulky. So yeah, that makes Ling 3-0 and Quentin 1-2. Next game we got Blair, who is in spades. He is 1-1, and then Adam, who is also 1-1. Both really good battlers, and they have a history of playing each other. Yeah, that's pretty much all there needs to be said. Or all that needs to be said, rather. Okay. Reuniclus is a terrifying Pokemon. Let me tell you why. Like Reuniclus for Cinderace. If it is Weakness Policy, Trick Room, what does Adam do? You know? Especially if Cinderace U-turns first turn? Like, that's terrifying. Maybe Adam knows that, though, and he's just going to go for, like, a regular fire attack, because I don't think Reuniclus can one-shot. Oh, no, he goes for a U-turn. Oh. Well, glad it wasn't Weakness Policy. That set's not used too often, but anytime I see a Reuniclus, I auto think about it, because if you just Weakness Policy Trick Room, you kill stuff pretty, like, more often than not. Like, he could literally just click Psychic, and boom, Psychic, boom, Psychic, boom. And you get 4 turns of Trick Room with that. Okay, so Blair goes hard into Amoonguss. Amoonguss loses its item, not the most important thing. Goes for a Spore, and then Adam reveals really good tech with Safety Goggles. So this Crobat is just meant to stop Amoonguss. And now, all of a sudden, what's Blair gonna do? I know this thing gets access to fire moves, it gets access to flying moves. Maybe it just has to go into Audino and hope for the best. Yep, and it does reveal that it's special. So if it's special, it probably has Heat Wave. And yeah, Adam's actually just like, he realizes the value in like how weak Blair's team is to fire and flying outside of Garchomp maybe, but Garchomp's, it doesn't want to take special attacks as much as physical. Yeah, Sludge Bomb does huge damage. Wish you're toxic, so it won't do too much. But Reuniclus is I was gonna say a good switch in, but not that Reuniclus. It felt like it was not very bulky at all. Because it took a ton from that U-turn. Maybe Cinderace is banded. I would have to calc. Maybe it's just super strong. But yeah. Reuniclus was not a good switch in hindsight. But at the same time, what did Blair do? Like, this gives them momentum, and I do think Reuniclus had half health. Like, I don't know. It's tough because Adam's team is so offensive. So the only way I was going to recover was against Vaporeon, maybe Hitmontop. Oh, so Blair either is Scarf or he bluffs the Scarf. I think that's really good to do in this situation. Goes for a Fire Punch. Oh man, Rocky Helmet is huge. Yeah, he bluffed the Scarf. Really, that's impressive. Um, the power of bluffing. Because honestly, like, Adam is so far up that even if Blair was bluffing, Adam can switch out and like he still has the game in his favor at this point. It's still a bit early, but like that just shows the power of bluffing. Like there are times where you bluff, your opponent thinks you might be bluffing, but at the same time, like it's just not worth it for them to risk it. Um, so because of that, you get the bluff off like a good amount of the times. Ooh, okay, rough skins. Oh, spicy. Cinderace reveals its protective pad, so on the Super Fang against against Garchomp, it did not take any damage and it just did a chunk to Garchomp. And as we said earlier, Garchomp is like the main defensive counter to Crobat. That's all Blair has. And it goes for Rock, so that will help against the Crobat matchup, but never mind, it won't because we got a Hitmontop that has Rapid Spin. Mungus does get a Spore off, but I don't even think we're going to see Zero Aura anymore. And then, yeah, Adam is just not letting Blair get any momentum whatsoever. Flare Blitz. Interesting to see Flare Blitz over Pyro Ball. I wonder if it was for a specific reason. Probably because it can miss Pyro Ball. Audino goes for a Wish. Oh, it knocks off Protective Pads. I guess, what did Blair think? I mean, what did Adam think was coming in? I'm not sure. Like, maybe he could have attacked there, but who knows? I don't have all the answers. And then Nasty Plot Crobat. Bullet Punch. That did more than I thought, but not enough. Oh, it does not have a fire move, though, and it misses the Heat Wave. That is pretty... That gives Blair a little bit of a chance. But then it just Bullet Punches. Oh, and Vaporeon has Heal Bell, so, Wish, so... Yeah, that's not good for Blair, because Blair's team does not have enough pressure right now, especially with Reuniclus gone. Okay, Super Fang comes out, a Wish comes out in return. Okay. Let's see how much Garchomp gains back from this. Good amount, but then Blair at this point is just trying to... He realizes he's down and this team's sort of walled, so he goes for a very risky play with a high risk, high reward. And that's with Swords Dance. Unfortunately, it does not work out. He was hoping that Adam would maybe switch out Mamoswine into something, and then Blair could pressure with the +2, but yeah, it just does not work out that way. Blaziken just comes in trying to do damage. Yeah, they're just trading close combats at this point. Quick attack, too. I like it. Okay, Audino comes in. Here comes Scary Scizor. Yep, Scary Crobat. Scizor's not too threatening right now. I actually really like this Crobat set. It just applied so much pressure. And then the Vaporeon is just healing Cinderace and Crobat at the same time. And Blair's just on the defensive. He does not have the damage to pull through. And Adam's just kind of trying to get in a good position, which might be this turn. Nope, he misses another hurricane. So it looks like he's going to have to cycle back a third time, try to heal up, and then go from there. That's what Vaporeon's going to do, yeah. Vaporeon switches in, goes for a wish, protect. Yeah, that's good. If he goes for a wish again and just takes the falling asleep, like that's really good. Like Blair should not have spored here. He wants to spore the next turn to stop Crobat from coming in. Because now Crobat's just coming in for free. Or Cinderace. No problem. And nothing that can be done about it. But yeah, fire move comes in. U-turn. Wow, that Blaziken took it pretty well. But it's not doing much to Vaporeon. That is kind of scary. Ooh, but it wakes up, and there goes Blaziken. I think even then, though, Crobat has Hurricane. I don't think Blaziken had a priority move. Yeah, it didn't, so... Yeah, okay, Adam just chooses to have... Whoa, did that need to die? Let's see what happened there. Okay, so Crobat comes in on a Spore. What went out? Oh, Vaporeon? Yeah, I don't think you need Vaporeon at this point. Maybe he was trying to preserve differential or something? I don't know. Like, what if Icicle Crash missed or didn't flinch? I think at that point, Crobat couldn't have... I mean, Blair, Amoonguss and Audino couldn't have done anything. But, I don't know, maybe a differential could have been saved. At the same time, Vaporeon's only at 3% health, so... Yeah. Oh, he thought Scarf Blaziken. Yeah. That wasn't the case. He wanted to, but he didn't. So yeah. That was that game. Adam goes to 2-1. Blair goes to 1-2. Not gonna lie, Adam's team is really, really scary. I was a little surprised not to see a fire move on Crobat, but at the same time, like, if you're hurricaning a Scizor, I think Scizor is not taking it. Even though that missed twice. But yeah, and then it just felt like Blair was playing on the defensive most of this game. His team is very defensive, so that does make sense. But yeah, even when Blaziken came in, it could not beat the Pokemon that were faster than it, and then it couldn't beat Vaporeon. So that proved to be a big problem. But Blair, weakness policy, Reuniclus. You know, think on it at least. And Blair's opponents think on it as well. You know, like that might be an actual threat. So yeah. Anyways, I think we're down to our last game of the week. So that is Scott, who is 1-1, versus Martin, who is 0-2. The awkward moment when I don't know which one is which. We'll just pretend like I do, though. Okay, yeah, right. Scott drafted Rain. So Cub Who is Scott. Martin is Bork Laser. How could I forget that? He's got Zygarde, which is a top 5 draft Pokemon in my opinion. The only thing is you need Stealth Rocks elsewhere if you get it. But that's what Uxie is for. Okay, so let's see what happens here. By the way, Scott's at the bottom. He's 1-1. Martin is 0-2. Wait. Sorry. I was not paying attention. Let's see the leads. This looks like pretty free damage. Actually, no, that's smart because Uxie can Thunder Wave, and if you Thunder Wave, that could be annoying. If Kirim had sub, he should have used it, but we're assuming it didn't have sub. Like if I were Martin, I'd be like, okay, Kirim does not have sub because it didn't sub against an Uxie. So then they switch. Scott gets in Rotom in a really good way there. Goes for a Thunderbolt, does not It does okay damage. That is really big. Kabutops versus Miltank. I think Kabutops is a really good late game sweeper. So it's not the greatest to see this early on, but maybe he just wants to knock something out. At the same time, I don't think he's going to knock something out, but that was the logic, and it looks like he got punished pretty bad by taking a body slam. Maybe nothing else wanted to take a body slam, but I kind of think that's not the case. Also, Miltank's really good this matchup. Like, if it's Sap Sipper, Tapu Bulu's not a problem. Well, no, Tapu Bulu can still do well. But even if it's not and it's thick fat, like Kyurem can be a problem. And Scott doesn't know that. Like he doesn't know what kind of Miltank this is. Okay, so Scott does something really good. Well, never mind. I thought the sword dance play was really good until I realized that rain ran out. Hey, wait. Maybe I spoke too soon. I mean, if Blastoise had like a body press or something, this thing was dead. But because it's called, it was Kabutops was actually able to almost knock this thing out, which is really good. It does make me feel like it just shows how threatening Kabutops would have been if rain was up or if it didn't get the paralyzed though. Because imagine it hit first here and it was just the fastest thing on the team. Martin would have had to rely on extreme speed Zygarde or like fake out normal gem Hitmonlee or something like that. Both of those are a pretty free switch out for Kabutops. Oh. Kabutops had Aqua Jet, but it got fully paralyzed. That is really unfortunate, so Blastoise knocked it out. This is a very obvious switch out. Okay, yeah, so Scott does a good job of capitalizing on it. And he gets Kyurem to be really, really scary now. Oh, but he switches out into a Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, it revealed leftovers. So I originally thought like, oh, Frostlass might be Scarf, that's why I switched out. But we saw leftovers, so that wasn't the case. I think Kyurem just had a free shot at anything. Whoa, what did he say? Thought you'd be Scarf, D-Bond. Yeah, one bit of advice for Showdown is to always pay attention. Like, it's harder in Showdown than in game to like notice things like leftovers because in game it takes like 5 seconds and you're just staring at the screen saying, oh, your Pokemon healed a slight amount because of leftovers, and it shows the little animation with the jingle. Here it doesn't do that. So it's really good to get into the habit to notice mechanics like that. Another important mechanic is like rain, and just even the ability pressure and abilities that activate when the Pokemon comes in, because that's a really good indicator of finding out the speed. And in game, it's really easy to notice, but on Showdown, it's actually really hard. You have to pay extra attention to it. So if Scott was able to do that, this Frostlass would be dead or fainted, because we're politically correct around here when it comes to what happens to Pokemon when they reach 0 HP. Body Slam, okay. I think Scott really needs to wear down this Miltank. It's just so threatening, and the body slamming is just making it even more threatening. If he wears it down, Kyurem can be such a good threat, especially with Scale Shot. Where did you get Serene Grace, Miltank? Yeah, seriously. Blastoise comes in, and so does Rotom Heat. Okay, Blastoise coming out, yep. And Rotom Heat Volt Switch, nope. Okay, Thunderbolt's not bad. So that did 29%, so now Scott should know what kind of Miltank that is, which will be very important information for Kyurem potentially later on. Ooh, okay. Yeah, Rotom Heat Nasty Plot is good, but if Zygarde's still alive, like, without hidden power, Um, I don't know. I don't see that doing too much. Um, Also, a lot of times people use Tapu Bulu as a check to Zygarde, and more often than not, I just see the Zygarde fire off a Sludge Wave and just Tapu Bulu dies. So I don't know if that happens here, but if it does, I'm not going to be surprised. Because, I mean, Sludge Wave... Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, like, if he had Sludge Wave and you Swords Danced against it, you're not going to survive. I think a lot of people also forget Zygarde gets a Poison move. But the only time it brings it is against Pokemon that are 4 times weak to poison, usually, like Tapu Bulu. Oh, it Iron Tails. Okay, that works too. Yeah. Swords dancing in front of Zygarde, I don't recommend it. I think Zygarde just in general is really, really scary. Now that Kabutops is gone too, I don't know what he's gonna do. He has to get a Kyurem in and just do big damage. Scale Shot's not too bad. Oh, that was really good. I forgot this thing hit 5 times. I completely forgot about that. Oh man, it just sets up screens. Yeah, if Kyurem had substitute or something, that would have been so good against the Uxie. Would have been so good against everything. And Frostlash should have been fainted. Okay, U-turn. Kyurem, yeah, you got to get the scale shot in. I don't know what I'll do as long as Uxie's alive, but yeah, go for the 4. Nope. Even then, though, you're kind of okay. Like, yeah, Scald's not gonna do much to you. Leftovers and stuff is a little annoying, but yeah, you have that, so that's good. Oopsie. Substitute. It would have been so good. Man, oh, I did not expect that crit. Yeah, this thing was so close to sweeping. I mean, wait, maybe it can, maybe it can. I mean, reflects up, right? Oh my goodness. 3. That was the game right there. Like, that was 100% the game. If it did 4, Zygarde's dead. Fainted, over. I don't know what Hitmonlee would have done. I don't know what Frostlass would have done. But Kyurem would have just gotten all those kills. That reflect was huge. That was really big. but now the exact opposite is happening, where Zygarde just gets all the kills. So it literally came down to a move hitting 3 times instead of 4 times. I'm glad Martin brought a weakness policy. It's really scary on Zygarde too. That's another Pokemon that, like, if it just Dragon Dances or even coils, like, that's really good. Weakness policy also would have worked with Sludge Wave too. But I guess Iron Tail worked out. If Iron Tail missed though, which is a 25% chance, then this game might have looked a bit different. I don't think Frostlass dying also really mattered too much there. Just would have been a 2-0 probably instead. But yeah, that's my commentary on all the games this week. Oh yeah, so Scott's 1-2 now and Martin's 1-2. But yeah, if you guys made it this far, I hope you enjoyed it. Next week I'm gonna do South for week 4. This was week 3 for North. And also be sure to check out PFL Swift. He's really good at doing these things. Very entertaining. And pretty much what we're doing is I'll cover one group for 1 week and he'll cover the other group for another week, and then we'll both upload it. So link will be in the description if you want to check out his channel. I recommend you subscribe to him and support him too. He's a really cool guy. He is Steven in this league too. I think we had covered his game. We should have if everything went according to plan. Yeah, we did. That was the first one. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you believe in, and have a good one. Bye.